Mike Perlak here to talk to you. I just wanted to do a journal entry. I wanted to talk about the subject matter of parents. I'm probably going to end up titling this video, Parents Are People Too. I found out something the other day that initially I was a little disappointed, but after a minute I realized I'm not surprised. But I found out that my mother had her 401k to make the man in her life, the only man that apparently she ever felt she could depend on, happy. Now, my mother worked all her life, but she never had a good job. At the end of the day, I was thinking it's really not that big of a deal because she couldn't have had much in there. My mother worked her whole life, but she didn't really have a good job with a 401k and everything. I think only the last, and I'm being generous, 7 years maybe of her working adult life. So there couldn't really have been much in there anyways. She worked and then until she was laid off, and this was been during the Obama presidency, so there was still a lot of anti-working class policies in place. And then the housing crisis of '09, remember that? But this man, was the only man that she felt she could depend on in her life. I can't really relate to that because I don't have, and nor have I ever had anybody that I could consider that. I guess she did it out of love. And I got to thinking, if I was in her shoes, if I had, a loyal woman who made me feel like I was, one and only, if I did have that, would I have done something similar? That's why I'm really not making this video to judge my mom or anything like that. I just got to talk about it and get it off my chest. But anyways, this man was probably the only man, probably the majority of her time here on Earth was the only man that she felt she could depend on. So there is that. As I can't relate because I never had somebody like that in my life. But if I had, I had to wonder, if I did, would I have done something like that too? Like, whatever. I love this person. I want to make them happy. Whatever. So if I, would I? Is really what it came down to. But I was thinking. At one point, we were evicted, and I remember I was just a stupid kid, but I remember some of the stuff is on video, but not all of it. One of the stuff I do remember that's only in the camcorder in my head, though, is I remember an argument, not really an argument, we were just talking, and I was just listening to my mother and, this man talk about, what are we going to do about this situation we're about to be evicted. And they're talking like, well, we'll just do this, and, we'll just do that, and, we'll just rent a house, and we'll just do that. And in my stupid, young, naive mind, I'm thinking, what is wrong with these people? I remember thinking, Mama's Mama's boyfriend, the man in her life, said to me, "What do you know about it?" And I just remember everything. Well, I hope you're right, and I'm dead wrong. Is what I said. It got to the point where we basically, the lawyer paid us to get out of the house by a certain date, and that was it. We packed up all our stuff, put it in storage, and for a couple of weeks we lived in motels, and then I finally said, okay, the hell with this. Because I was a student, I was lucky that I was able to get into the YMCA, and as opposed to being homeless. So, but I remember talking to Mama's boyfriend, this man, one-on-one, man-to-man. Says, it's going to be easier for you guys since it's now just my mother and my sisters and you, right? He's like, oh, yeah, totally easier. So, and like I said, I'm not making this video to judge my mother or anything. At the end of the day, it was her money. It was her 401k to do with what she pleased. You know, and like I said, if I had to wonder if I was in that same situation, I had a significant other that I felt I could depend on. Would I have done the same thing? Going back to the eviction thing, I just remember I was just a stupid kid myself, but I wasn't satisfied with the answers I was getting to my inquiries with the adults in my life. From my point of view, these were two people that proved time and time again they're not good with money or finances, and I was just frustrated. And, you know, having limited understanding myself, having still being a kid, basically. The whole eviction thing, being evicted, I'm sure it couldn't have been easy for my mother. Sure the heck wasn't easy for me either. I mean, somehow we did whatever we did what we had to do. But and you wonder why I'm so content and where I'm at now in life. Compared to other kids, I didn't really have a lot of stuff. The only reason I had the stuff I had is because I did work and I made a little money and I didn't have rent, so I bought myself stuff for pretty much most of my life. And I'll admit, you know, I'm not gonna lie, for a long time I was living a life of basically being on a shopping spree. Which is part of the reason why I went into debt. I was sponsoring a child, too. An American child. I chose to sponsor an American child. But, you know, this is all the stuff I was doing while I was buying stuff, going into debt. But then I worked myself out of debt, too. So I worked myself into debt, and then I worked myself out of debt. But even now, I'm at the point where I'm maxed out with that. Most of the stuff I have is just because I bought it years ago. Maybe I think that's why maybe on an unconscious level, I put things in storage towards the end of making my own move from living in a dump with no water and no reliable heating system to my now big, beautiful home that I have all to myself. To a degree, I guess I am a material boy. My things are important to me, so sue me. The most important things didn't even cost that much money, if any. So anyways, back to my mother, blowing her quote, blowing her 401k on the man she loved. So she worked only the last 7 years of her working life. She had a good job with a 401k, so they couldn't have been that much in there anyways. But in any event, it's her money, so okay, sarah, sarah. But then she was laid off. This was during when Obama was president. I remember she wanted to go back to work, but that's when she started having health issues that now make it impossible for her to work. She has health. She's still she's a survivor, and she's still got a strong mind and all that. But yeah, she's got health issues that make it impossible for her to work now. But she is a survivor. She's still got a strong mind. Probably where I get it from. I got to be secure knowing that I'm number one. And I won't make that easy for a female, I will admit. So if you want a relationship but you still want girls' night out, move along. Take it to the bar. Take it to the bar. That SNL sketch with take it to the bar. But this only further proves what I talk about on this channel from time to time in regards to male-female relationships. And it also further verifies that joke that Trump tells when Trump says that men are better than women, but one good woman is better than 10 good men. that's a joke from Trump. And it just another example that proves the point. I'm going to title this video Parents Are People Too, so I got to address my father, I guess. Those of you that watch the stuff on my channel with my father, I'm going to give you the short version of where I'm at now with all that. My father has maxed out his credit. He's maxed out his credit with his cousin. He's maxed out his credit with his brother-in-law. He's maxed out his credit with me. I'll go to his funeral, you know. I saved him once. A neurologist gave me a call. I documented all this on my channel. But a neurologist called, and I had to give verbal consent so he can drill the hole in his skull and get the blood clog out and save his dumb arse. And if that came, and I got another call from a neurologist saying they needed I would probably give them permission again. I don't want to be responsible for life and death. That's God's department. But I say I would go to his funeral, but I might not even know about it till months later. The life he leads, he could be dead in an alley one day and sit there for a week or two or a month, and I wouldn't know because of his lifestyle. And that's who he is, and I won't deal with it. I will not be his mommy. I will not be his daddy. Talking about my father, remember, people. But I won't be his mommy and daddy. The day his parents died was the day his life of crime started. Well, actually, no, it started before. But his mama wasn't there to bail him out. Oh, God. That woman emptied out her retirement so that guy wouldn't have to do time for the federal charge of child abuse. Not me. Not me. My 401k is mine. I'm in a good place. I got 2 good jobs. I got a beautiful home, reliable vehicle, 2 good jobs, money in the bank, and nobody, not him, not my father, nobody's going to interfere with that. Certainly not some dumb female who ain't on the same page as me as far as what she wants in life. Mike Paralak. Good night.